Yeah, we don't really want the power to be on it. It's that thing.
Okay, that's what I thought, but
Yeah.
I didn't see the red tape.
Thank you for...
Which I thought did, and then
Yep.
I questioned.
Yep, you got it, babe. Let's see, make sure the other tab is muted. This tab up here. It is. Okay.
I don't hear us.
I don't hear us either. Might be because the TV itself is muted. It was. You gotta turn it up a lot. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Yep. All right.
Good enough, good enough.
And then you muted it, right?
Yep.
All right. Working on the magic spells. Having a lot of fun with that. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about some vehicles. We'll talk about Pulpalooza.
We can talk about our trip to Tulsa.
Yep.
Ugh.
What's wrong?
My cup is filthy.
Oh. Well, you know. Those Stanley people.
Schmutz.
Oh, I don't have my little phone set up today. Are we supposed to do a giveaway today?
I don't think so.
Okay. Bessy said no. Bessy said no to the giveaway, Greg. Fenris, Telemachus, and Bessy doesn't want to be giving nothing away today. She don't give it away.
What? You did not say. Can we give something away? You said, are we supposed
It's
to?
okay. Whatever.
You said, are we supposed to? Don't.
Status markers? What the heck are status markers? You mean like the little counters, the game counters? Must be what it is. I guess I'm responsible for bringing game counters. Quick play guides. Maybe a copy of it. Copy of belongs in a museum. That would be fun. Maybe we'll have a... What is that?
Something number 1, something number 2. What are these things?
I don't hear you either. Are they saying they can't hear us?
That was before.
Oh, okay.
I think they can now.
Okay. Ah!
50 XP. 25 XP.
What the heck is that?
I don't know, and now I can't get out. I can't get out of it.
Hey, idiot luggage, apparently you got 50 experience point. Red Mist, you got 50 experience points. So William Schmidt-Matson, you got 25.
Oh, you're our top fan. Ooh, Bob, you're number 1.
50 experience points.
Top fan, look at you.
Red Mist, number 2. What are these things? Counters.
They're our top fans. That means they comment a lot.
Wow.
Hi, Chris Girardi. We were just talking about
Chris Girardi. We were talking about you on our trip to Tulsa. We need to get you signed up for another game, brother. I was just talking about Chris Girardi. Said, we haven't played with Chris in forever. We need to get him signed up for another game.
Don't tell me like I don't know. I was the one that said
I know it. I know it. Oh, still didn't get this hooked up. We're going to go officially live in a little less than actually 5 seconds.
And hey everybody, it's Dave and Bessy here with Pulp.
Go ahead, babe. You got it.
This is the world's most dangerous Dave. He really is dangerous. You know what I mean?
Oh. All right.
Never mind. You know me. I don't say a word.
Oh. I just because the neighbors complain doesn't mean it's okay. So I posted another video about vehicles this week. So I think one of the big things that I wanted to talk about. Look at those. What?
Your glasses are over there. Go get those before you just squint at the TV the whole time.
All right. I'll be back later. Let's see those shoes in front of my refrigerator.
Well, they're not on the refrigerator.
Somebody's stinky shoes.
That's outrageous.
Somebody's stinky shoes are sitting in front of my refrigerator.
Okay, now you can't. Okay, if you're gonna take it wrong, then I'm not
Stanky
gonna,
shoes.
Then
Stanky.
Stop saying that.
Got the stank all over them.
Stop saying that.
You know that just makes me say it.
I know.
You know that's how that works.
Do you think I haven't met you before?
Do you know me? I don't think you know me.
We've only been together an entire decade. You think I don't know?
You don't know me, lady.
I do.
You don't know me. So, who's getting excited about the July Buy Show? We're excited to find out
apparently
if
we had a wrestling match go down over our shiny sticker that we sent to.
Huh? What happened?
Fitness 6896 said a 6-year-old challenged him to a wrestling match.
For the
Probably
shiny
for our,
sticker.
Our shiny sticker.
For the shiny sticker.
To be fair, I'd throw down for it.
Those are really nice stickers.
Those are my favorite.
Those are some of the
I
nice
pilfer
stickers.
those fairly frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I have to change
Why don't you tell the girls and boys about your wonderful trip to Tulsa?
I drove to Tulsa. Dave somewhat navigated me.
Incorrectly most of the time.
But,
there's a lot of this. Turn there! No, wait. No, go that way.
Oh, wait. This doesn't have an entrance ramp.
We can get on the highway.
Up there, that's
See
the
that
one.
highway up there? That's the one we're supposed to be on.
But we did go to a lovely game store.
We did go to a lovely game store, Wizards Asylum. Wizards Asylum in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
They were lovely.
Swing by and say hi. Tell them Dave sent you.
And they had some really, really great air freshener going around.
Yeah,
so
they had their air freshener
there was no funk.
cranked up to kill. It was like
they knew what they were doing.
They were fumigating. Is what I felt. I felt like they were fumigating.
They were aware of who
their target audience.
Yeah, but they
Wizards
were so
Asylum.
fun.
Yeah,
it was a cool game store. They were so nice, and it was busy.
They were
for a Wednesday
for
at
a
5.
Wednesday afternoon at 5:00.
It was.
They were cranked up in there, and it was just like a constant stream.
And a constant stream of people buying, not
bless
just
their
looking
hearts.
loose.
Yeah. Constant
you
stream
what we
of people
bought,
buying.
or?
Sure. So these, boy, I tell you what, found a whole nice wall of these Dungeons and Dragons figures. Gosh, now I don't remember who made this. It's for Pathfinder or something like that. I don't know. D&D, whatever. But just really cool figures. And it was only like $15.
Yep.
I mean, as far as I know, that wasn't like a half price deal or anything like that. So beautiful detail on these. You know, honestly, if Games Workshop sold this, it would be $50. You know, going through and comparing this to Games Workshop figures that were on the wall, it was like, at least $40 for something like this if Games Workshop made it, and this was $15. So, what a deal!
We found a lot, though.
What a deal! Yeah, there
we had
was
to
a
whittle
lot.
down what we were gonna.
There was a lot of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It would
really,
be 80. DW says.
Oh, 80?
80.
Mm. So, really, really cool. So, I want to remind you guys that you can really, how much you guys use vehicles in your games is up to you. Like, there's no rule that says you are not allowed to use vehicles in your games unless the scenario says you get to. You're really expected to use vehicles as much as you want in your own games. If you want to put vehicles out there, then put them out there. And you could easily, especially for like a game like Vice Alley, you know, where you have streets and everything, it makes sense to have a bunch of vehicles out there. Now, you don't have to say they're all actually vehicles, and you can jump in any of them and play them. You guys can do that however you want to do it.
They can be terrain, or they can be...
Right, and or anything in between. Mm-hmm. You could say, this truck is a vehicle, the rest of them are not.
That sounds like us. Davros said, in the middle of Jurassic Park Rebirth, I was thinking of plot points.
Yeah.
He does it all the time.
Yeah.
Failed his recovery check on that one, didn't he?
Yeah. So, same thing with mounts. put them out there, especially if you're doing a Western and you want to just scatter horses across the table, you know, a half dozen horses are just scattered across the table. That's up to you guys. We're not going to tell you put horses on the table or put vehicles on the table. That's really up to you to
terrain
decide.
is pretty free balling for the most part.
Yeah, put your stuff out there.
And you know what? Make one of them where you can hop on the back of old paint and right off.
You could easily make one a plot point, even if you wanted to live your life that way. You could easily say, hey, you know what? It takes an action to get the vehicle started, right? Or to find the keys, or, you know, to hotwire the car. You got to pass a random challenge. You could do all those sort of things. And there are some scenarios that we have that are almost dependent on vehicles. REO Speedwagon versus the dinosaur. You got to.
Let's play that one. Can we play that?
You want to play that on Sunday? You know, you got to have your truck running
There's nothing
around.
more American than REO Speedwagon.
I know, right? So now you got me thinking about that scenario. Oh, dude, we could probably pull that off. Maybe we should paint this up and use this for our great gongons. Yeah, probably not going to get that done in time. This would be fast, but I would like to actually have June and Max help me paint this.
Yep.
I think that would be fun to have them. Give me a camera, baby. There we go. Yep, have the Savages paint this up for me. I thought this might be a fun thing to put in the Lemuria scenario. Whiz Kids, that's who makes this. You're exactly right.
Vern, you're coming in
look at this.
clutch.
Fenris is number 2. What's up with that? Is that change? Like,
yeah, it changes on how often you are posting within this chat.
just for today? That's weird.
Speaking of vehicles, have you ever done a game where, say, the characters were all mech pilots battling or adventuring? That could lead to some interesting scenarios in and out of a suit like that.
Yep, that would be fun. Not a lot, and we have our. I frequently use battle suits in some scenarios, and I don't get into the really, really big ones, and not that I don't like them, but where's my little fellas?
Where are you, little guys?
Yep. But I frequently use fellows like this size fellow, because if the battle suit, and in those rules, the way we treat them is as a mount. We can use that as a mount, and then remember.
I've named the monster. It's Joanna.
Joanna.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to name it Karen, but if you want to go with Joanna, that's okay too.
No, it's Rescuers Down Under, Joanna.
Okay. So now this is actually a 1/35th scale, but for our intended purposes, science fiction has no scale as far as I'm concerned, so we use it to consider that this is the size person that's actually inside there, kind of curled up or sitting up here in this cockpit area, rather than filling out the whole suit as if they were wearing it. They're actually just sitting up here in the top. Maybe part of their body down into the chest cavity.
I think there's 2 of them in there, and they're on their shoulders.
Or 3, yeah. they're like piggyback in there. But remember that oftentimes when you're mounted, you cannot perform plot points. So you can either make a rule that allows them to like come up to a plot point and interface with it for a specific scenario, or you could say, well, I want them to be able to do that, or you could say that they've got to dismount to do that, and then in that case, they've got to climb out of their battle suit and perform the plot point. And yes, we have done that.
Look at you showing off.
Yeah, we definitely do that in our scenarios. If a battle suit gets destroyed, and remember, that's just the rules for the mount, because mounts can get killed in Pulp Alley, or at least injured and no longer operable. So remember, when you're rolling your cover save for your mount, if you roll a 1 on your cover save, that means the mount is no longer functioning or the battle suit is no longer functioning, but the character can then dismount or climb out of the battle suit and start running around the table and continue doing whatever they do. So yeah, we definitely do that. Hey,
Hey.
we're expecting to ship. I can't give you an exact date. I can't give you an exact date for this, but we're expecting to start shipping the new Fortune Pack 1 and Fortune
This
Pack 2
month.
this month. I'm guessing about 2 weeks, but it's always weird, and the printer is always kind of flexible, we'll say, on their shipping dates. So
Yeah.
I can't really nail down an exact time when we'll get these. But
As soon as we do.
as soon as we do, we'll start packing them up
Yep.
and send them. And everybody that pre-ordered them are going to get a special Zadinko grammeter. So these are cards that you can just shuffle into your fortune deck.
Yep.
And
If you want to add a little spice to
add
your
a little
life.
extra spice to your packs. Now you don't need those, and honestly, on our Sunday games for the last 500 games or whatever that we've played live. How many games have we played live, David Lowe and Nay, and is Vern Jeske on here?
We can say we've been doing almost 6 years.
Almost 6 years of live games
or
on Sundays.
pretty close to that. So we can just say 6 years.
Yeah.
And we've only, the last month, maybe 2 months, have been adding in.
Yeah.
The,
We almost always use, Sean Hudson says five games, or 5 years.
yes, we played more than 3 games. Thank you, Bob.
More than 3. Almost. 6 times
Math.
50. Math. Ah.
I go off of Joe when we had the baby.
How old he is.
How old he is.
Yeah. Now, the vehicles pack is available, and I do, a lot of the stuff that we make for Pulp Alley, you have to remember that we're players. So a lot of the stuff that we release for Pulp Alley is because we want it. Right? It's helpful, and we want to play with it. Very seldom do we make something and go, well, this is just something to sell. We're not actually going to play with this. It's almost always because we're very selfish in that way. We always just want to play with stuff. So this is where these cute little cards come from, where you can keep track of who the passenger is, who the driver is, and it has little spots on there to keep track of it if somebody's hanging on as well. So that's an important reminder, is that if you have, let's say you have a little roadster here driving around, and you have Lady Elaine, and you've got the chimpanzee, of course, driving in the roadster as they would, and then if a baddie jumps on there, then they count as hanging on, and you would put them on the side of the card like that to show. But it could also be a friendly character. Remember that the roadster can safely carry 2 characters, but you can add somebody else on there, even a friendly character, but they are still considered to be hanging on, and that means they're in a perilous area. So you take something like the motorcycle, and I'm not saying that there's inherently, always something dangerous about having a passenger on a motorcycle, but let's say you had Lady Elaine just riding on a regular motorcycle here, and then you wanted Millie to be on there as well. Well, Millie could hang on. The idea is that in the hustle and bustle of a high adrenaline situation, that changes the situation from a leisurely drive, around the block.
Well, I think one wrong move was Millie's eyes in Elaine's.
To Lady Elaine, like
pulling her
gunning
hair,
it, like that.
I guarantee that's exactly all.
That's how Lady Elaine does it.
Vern said we played our first live game on November 29th, 2020.
And the reason Vern could tell you that is because he was the very first
And I want
person.
everybody to know.
This is a story. This is a nice story. I want you guys to listen to this. Go ahead, Dave. I'm gonna sit and listen.
That if Vern wasn't as amazing as Vern is, we would probably not be doing lives with remote players. He was our guinea pig.
Yep.
He was our test. We had never talked to him.
Yep.
I think we talked to him before, like a couple days before.
Yep.
But, and then Vern graced us with all of the Vernness that is Vern.
Yep.
And we said, hey, I think we can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, that was I had no idea whether or not it was actually going to work.
Yeah.
I had no clue. It was like, when we started thinking about we wanted to do remote games, we were looking at like those virtual tabletop things. And I still think those would be a great idea. I'm just not tech savvy enough to do those. I don't know how to do the tabletop, blah, blah, the virtual tabletops. They're all over the place out there. You guys know what I'm talking about probably. I don't know how to do those. And I don't know how to set them up. And I don't know how they work. And I could figure it out, but I don't want to. I know how to do this. I know how to scoot little fellas around the table and go boom, boom. I know how to roll dice. I could do that. I've seen it done on TV. So I figured, what if we could just do it like live and have the other person and they could see the table and kind of test that out. And Vern was the guinea pig. We had never done it before. We had no idea if it was going to work. And Vern made us believe that we could actually pull it off on a weekly basis.
And I'm not just saying that because Vern's on here. We literally had this conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
None of this would have happened without Vern.
If that had been a disaster, we would not have continued doing live games. We were just like, well, screw this. We're not doing this. This is awful. So that brings us to the idea that if you would like to do this with us on a Sunday, you ought to get signed up. We sign up about 2 months in advance. So if you sent us a message today and I got back to you and happened to see it, then it would be quite literally 2 months before you would probably have a chance to play. I have a few open dates here and there, but remember we're also trying to do a live a live solo Pulp Alley game once a month also. So we don't one game a month. 22 games, Vern says that he's played online with us. How about that?
That's it?
That's all? Well, there's lots of other folks doing it, too.
I know, but I just feel like Vern's
I bet you Dave Lowe's done tons, too. Dave Lowe has done did a bunch. Yeah. If you'd like to play with us on a Sunday morning, you ought to get signed up to play. It's a lot of fun.
It's hard to imagine that they weren't part of the everyday life back in the day.
Yeah.
There was a time we didn't know D.W. Lowe.
I know.
How did we survive?
So, been working on the magic spells. It's kind of what I've been focused on this week, is trying to work on the magic spells. I'm really happy with where they're at. I like coming back to a project from the beginning and kind of working my way through it again.
You know what's even better? When it still makes sense and you're like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, God.
Yeah. And that's I kind of think of, not that I'm a great sculptor by any means.
That's for the historians to say.
But I think about, that's for the historians to say. But I think about, like, when I'm designing stuff, I think about it as, like, there's the big chunks that I want to take off with the chainsaw. The rough shape of something there that I want, kind of have this vision of something that I want it to be, and I get these kind of rough shape of it in there. But then there's all the little detail that I have to go in there and go, does this curve work? And does this need to be shaved off? And so there's a lot of that goes on to kind of, before I get to the project where I'm really, really happy with it. I have an index card to keep track of looking forward to Gaming Live with DW. Yes. Next month it's going to be. I'm
excited about that
and
one.
We're going to start. Bessy, you want to tell them about the Lemuria campaign idea you have?
Oh, the League one? So, what we're going to do is we're going to have 2 specific leagues. I think right now we are thinking of Captain Wolf
Captain Wolf.
and Danger Incorporated.
Danger Incorporated.
And then what we are going to do is those leagues will play through the scenario or the campaign, but then each week they will be
played by different players.
That way we're not asking a certain number of players to commit to weeks and weeks. We can still go through a rotation, but it will be those two leagues playing through the Lemuria campaign.
Entire Lemuria campaign. So as we go through that, we'll stick with the same two leagues. And then the players change.
Yep.
Exactly what Bessy said. I just said it again because I do that.
He does do that.
I do that. So that's going to be cool. And I don't know exactly when that's going to start.
We'll
see.
Well, we know it's not going to be this Sunday because Oreo Speedwagon, baby.
Oreo Speedwagon versus the dinosaur.
Woo-hoo. I've been asking to play that literally since it was written.
Yeah.
And he's always come up with some reason not to.
Be sure to make plans to join us October 16th through the 18th in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're going to be playing Pulpalooza for 3 days straight. Am I the dinos? No, you're the Oreo Speedwagon.
But you can play Minerva, and you can.
One-eyed Minerva, one-eye, red hair.
You can use the triplets as your fodder.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see if that's the weekend that we start it. We'll see where
I could probably pencil that in just for you.
Yep, that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
As a 22 game champion, I think we can.
I think he's even won a couple of those games.
I think he's won several. I'm gonna say at least
maybe 3 or 4.
No, I'd say
22.
he's like.
I've done 22. He comes on here, nice Vern, and I just crushed him. Crush!
No way!
Crush!
That's baloney. He's 20, you're 2.
I lose a lot of games of Pulp Alley, so if you play me, don't get too excited just because you beat the designer of the game. I'm.
But don't let that fool you. You can go ahead and write that down on your index card.
Write that down on your index card.
Vern, do you keep track of that?
Number of wins. Does he keep track of his wins and losses?
Does he get like a heart if you win?
Oh,
like
does he do that? Puts a
I don't know.
star.
I want to know.
He puts a star on that day. John and I are set reservations to the Air Force Base. Awesome.
Yay.
Very cool.
Fantastic.
Otter is good. Pirate game, a go, Greg. Arr!
Oh, that's right, the pirate game.
Arr!
I'm excited.
I hear it's going to be more like a pirate campaign. It's going to be multiple scenarios spread out over multiple days of piracy on the high seas.
Getting that booty.
My goodness. Working on the magic rules. I'd love to be able to play test them. I don't know that I'm going to have anything to throw at you on Sunday or not. Maybe I'll try and I could give Ramjeet a spell or something, maybe.
Yeah, maybe like,
just to have fun with it.
Maybe sort of like a perilous area or something. I don't know. Something. Because I'm not sure exactly how it all...
I'm not sure. 12 wins, 8 losses, and 2 draws.
Boom!
See, I told you I won most of them. I've won 12 of them, and
He's
Vern
not talking about you.
Has only won 8. Oh well. I mean, better luck next time, there, Vern.
Heck yeah, Vern. Maybe you should keep track.
Maybe you should keep track, lady.
Maybe I should. I think that'd be fun.
Oh. Anywho, I think that's all I got to go over tonight.
I think so.
Thank you guys so much for being here and being part of our silliness. We appreciate you. If you're not a subscriber to our little channel, Bessy says you ought to be. Be sure to hit that like button. Smash that like button with your elbow.
Don't forget to subscribe so you get that notification. Hit the bell. Ding-a-ding-a-ding.
Telemachus. Are you
and join us on Sunday.
Come
10
join me in Albuquerque. I'll let you buy me a pizza.
Don't fall for it. Have a happy and safe 4th of July.
Oh, yeah. I forgot 4th of July is this weekend, huh?
We are child-free, so we will be doing nothing. We're very excited. Oh! We're going to be doing a dance party. Bye!
Oh, that was scary.
I don't know what your music taste is awfully interesting.